Hey friends, I bet you missed me. I am back on this special Saturday wearing my absolute favorite plaid flannel shirt to provide you with some exclusive access. Just kidding, everybody in the world has this website available to them to updates about the AP Comparative Government exam and also about how this course is going to go for at least the next couple of weeks. Um, on Friday, the College Board released some information about the AP exam format for spring 2020, and I'm going to walk you through that quickly. There is, of course, much, much more information available on my website, and I've provided you the link on my own Google site. Um, the AP CompGov exam is going to be administered on Friday, May 22nd at noon Eastern Time. Quick note, if you happen not to be in the Eastern Time zone, the exam starts at the same time for everybody around the world, meaning that if you were in Hawaii, you are going to take this exam at 6 a.m. local time. That sucks, but you can do it. I believe in you. So that's 8 days later than the exam was originally scheduled, which is convenient because everything in this class is also about to get pushed back by a week. The exam is going to be administered online. You can take it on your own device. You can do it on a tablet or a laptop. School issued Chromebook will work. Your phone will work. You can actually even handwrite your answers to the exam, take a photo, and upload those handwritten answers. And somebody from the College Board will have to suffer through reading your handwriting instead of me having to do it. The exam's only going to last 45 minutes. It's going to consist of two open response questions, and this will differ from subject to subject. So if you're taking multiple AP exams this year, you want to refer to your teacher in other subjects for information on those other exams. The first question is going to be something called the argument essay. That's going to last 25 minutes, and it's account for a little bit more than half of your score. The second part is something we've done in class a bunch of times already called a quantitative analysis task. You're going to have 15 minutes to write it, and it's going to account for 45% of your score. Um, just a couple quick notes about that. Number one, the argument essay is a new format this year, and I haven't taught it to you yet because, to be honest with you, I think it has some really serious limitations as a way of writing. It's the kind of thing that would make your English teacher pitch a fit if they knew that this was what was being passed off as an essay. I'll complain about it pretty extensively over the course of the next week, but the good thing is it's pretty simple, it's pretty straightforward, and you can master it without a huge amount of practice. So I will get you there over the course of the next week. Second thing to note, the time limit is real. They haven't yet released a system on which you're going to take the exam, but AP teachers have been receiving pretty specific threats that if you do not hit upload or you do not hit submit by the time the time restriction elapses on the AP exam, then you're just not going to be able to submit any response whatsoever, and you're not going to be able to get any points whatsoever. So please, 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 if you are that person who sits in my classroom after the bell rings trying to frantically hold on to your black or blue pen and write those last 16 sentences of your open response section, you need to be really, really, really mindful of your time on this exam, because the software that the College Board is going to use is probably going to be a little bit less easy to persuade than I am that you deserve another 2.5 minutes on the test. So please, please, please be mindful of that. And as we do practice over the course of the next couple weeks, make sure that you are adhering very rigidly to that time. Of course, more coming this week, especially for those of you who are still planning to take that test. What does that mean for our class? A couple of things. Number one, I think I told you that we were going to start the UK and Iran on April 6th, but we're actually going to push that back by a week, which is convenient because that's also when quarter four will start for CRLS. We've changed those deadlines as a school as well. Instead, on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, April 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, we're going to do a boot camp that's designed primarily to get you ready to do that argument essay, and we'll do a little practice on those quantitative analysis tasks as well. Friday the 10th, I'm surprised to learn is Good Friday, and there's no school. Also of note, on Thursday the 9th is your last day to submit any kind of makeup work for quarter three. Stuff due on or before March 13th, which was the last day we were physically in school together, still counts towards your quarter three grade. And so if you are missing something, particularly if it's something big like the panel discussion, you need to be in touch with me as soon as possible to figure out how you're going to make that up, because Thursday the 9th is the drop dead day for submitting that stuff. Um, After the long weekend, quarter four is going to start on Monday, the 13th of April. That's a school wide thing, and that's also when we will start our UK and Iran unit. I'll get a homework guide out to you later next week, but you should expect the usual pattern of daily reading and homework quizzes via Google Forms. Those remain open note, etc. The timeline for that at home stuff will probably be about the same, but you should also expect, again, based on some changes that have happened at the school level, that the schedule of class meetings is going to change, and most likely that they're going to be both later in the day and less frequent than they used to be. So please stay tuned for that. And if you have other classes that have been meeting online on a more than weekly basis, you should expect those to change as well. I'll figure that out over the course of the next week and keep you posted, of course. When you go when you join our virtual class next week, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to focus, as I said a moment ago, on two skills. One is that argument essay, and the other is that quantitative analysis question that we've already done a bunch of times in this class. And I'm going to give you some writing practice during class. I'm going to host, as usual, two 45-minute live classes each day. Those are at 9:45 and 11:15 a.m., and I strongly encourage you to join those if possible. But I'm also going to make alternative activities available on the website. So the flow is going to be slightly different than what it has been for the last couple of weeks. Instead of doing preparatory material beforehand and then joining us for live classes, I'm going to make almost everything that we do available so that you can do it either live in class with me on Zoom or separately on your own time, on your own computer, in your own home. When you look at the website for the next week, you're going to see two columns as you usually have. But the difference is that in the left-hand side, I'm going to just give you the Zoom links and a preview of what we're going to talk about in class. On the right-hand side, I'm going to give you some things that you can do instead of coming to class. I'm going to try and make those as redundant with each other as possible. Of course, if you want to do both, you are always welcome to do that. I'm never going to complain that you spend too much of your own free time doing AP CompGov work. But this is designed so that even those of you who have conflicts that prevent you from joining us on Zoom can get 100% or as close as I can manage to 100% of the content in your own, without joining us live. One last thing is a classic question that I am sure many of you are starting to ask, which is, do I really have to do this? Are you absolutely sure? And the answer is that just like everything that's been happening for the last 3 weeks in this class, this is somewhat optional. You absolutely should be doing 100% of the boot camp activities if you're planning to take the AP exam. This is the only time that I'm going to spend a ton of focused time teaching you how to do that task, which is more than half of your AP score. So if you want your knowledge to be reflected in your AP exam score, yes, you pretty much have to do these boot camp activities. If you're not planning to take that exam, and if you don't care about learning these specific question formats, you don't have to do the boot camp stuff. I think it's useful to spend a little bit of time doing some kind of, reflection on what evidence is or what a good thesis statement is. Those are broadly applicable skills that I think aren't stupid and can be applied to real college level writing in this subject and others. But you absolutely aren't required to do it. If you think that this is a time to take a week off and maybe do some makeup work for some of your other classes, that's totally fine with me. You can go forth with my blessing. But even if you're not taking the AP exam and you just really want to learn about writing, or you really like seeing my face every day, you're absolutely welcome to join in as many of these boot camp activities as you'd like. All I ask is that you take this seriously and respect the fact that other people are coming because they really need to learn in a pretty compressed time period this very particular skill of argument essay writing. So it's your choice, and of course, feel free to get in touch with me if you want to talk over whether you should be participating in this or not. That's all for my updates. Thanks, and I'll see you all on Monday.